Saturday Wars.
When hinges creak in doorless chambers, and strange and frightening sounds echo through the halls, whenever candlelights flicker where the air is deathly still, that is the time when ghosts are present, practicing their terror with ghoulish delight. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Welcome Home podcast. I am your host, your ghost host. Kindly step all the way in, please, and make room for everyone. There's no turning back now.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 239 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. How's it going, you guys?
So I feel a little bit more Canadian this week. I don't. I don't know if this is actually like a big deal show.
Okay.
So I started watching Corner Gas animated show.
Okay.
It happened to be on, and I didn't realize there was like an actual show way before that. So,
oh, really?
I started watching Corner Gas from like 2004, and I just feel more Canadian now.
That's a Canadian show?
I just didn't know if it was like the Seinfeld of Canada.
I mean, I wouldn't call it the Seinfeld. There's another show that is, I feel, way funnier, but I don't want to say the name on here because then we'd have to bleep it out.
I was going to say, is it not safe for work? Is it?
Well, can you at least type it in the chat?
Well, yeah, hold on.
Anyway, I started watching that, and I was just like, oh, yeah.
No, I love that show too, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not a Canadian show, is it?
It is a Canadian show. It is absolutely.
So it was released there first?
Yep. Produced by Eugene and Dan Levy.
Yeah, so maybe people can figure out what we're talking about.
Legendary Canadians. Yeah, if you know what show I'm talking about, you know.
I just didn't realize, like I said, I was watching the animated version of this. It kind of came up in Freeview, and then I was like, I happened to see there was a movie, and then I was confused because the movie was before the animated show, and then I went back and I was like, wait, this is like non-high def 2004 TV.
Yeah,
so.
it's very much it's good at showing you, I guess, what like living in Saskatchewan is like. Yeah. Is the best way I can say it.
That's good. Okay, that's very specific. Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the show, it's literally like
a gas station.
It's a small
Saskatchewan, 40 miles from nothing.
Yeah, it's like it's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's very funny. But yeah, I guess I'm glad that it resonates with you because I sometimes wonder about shows like that.
Yeah, it's so funny. Even in 2004, it's still kind of funny.
Yeah, because it's Canadian, right? Like to me, it's like, oh yeah, I get a lot. There's a lot of very Canadianism stuff that happens in the show, but I think a lot of it is just inherently funny too.
Yeah. See, I think my earliest exposure to Canadian shows was Kids in the Hall, right? Like, so I watched Kids in the Hall a lot when I was a kid. Like that, I always loved that show. And I recently found it was on some channel. I think it was like on Pluto TV on some free channel. And I was like, oh man, Kids in the Hall. I was so excited. Because I feel like you don't see it a lot around as much. But it still holds up too, by the way, that show.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Kids in the Hall was, I feel, and you know, people can grossly correct me on this if they think that I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I feel Kids in the Hall lives in the same headspace as like Monty Python.
Yeah, I agree.
Like those guys are just like like really funny and absurd and all of that. So like, yeah, Kids in the Hall is like Canadian Monty Python as far as I'm concerned.
I was watching it with my wife, and who had never seen any Kids in the Hall, and she's like, "What is this?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I mean that's an appropriate way to describe it. I feel like."
yeah. At first, you don't understand it, and then you realize you don't have to understand.
You don't have to understand it. It's just silly nonsense. It's really, you know. I was excited to catch some of that because it had been a long time since I've really seen any Kids in the Hall. So, and I mean, like, listen, I also tried to tell her too. I was like, there's several famous people in Kids in the Hall, like, that are still relevant today. You know, like that's, you know, some of the people that were on this, right? So, you know,
yeah, I mean, a lot of them have had careers like, yeah, you've seen them on other shows, but the problem is like, who is it, like, David Foley, like he shows up on a lot of random shows, and
well, he was in Monsters Inc. too, or Monsters University, wasn't he? Wasn't he one of the voices in that?
I think he was, and the other one, is Kevin McDonald is the other one that he's done a lot of voice acting for Disney as well, which is so. Yeah,
I feel like Dave Foley was really the one that broke over to the USA pretty quickly, though, right? Like he was the one that is probably most known. So now that we've just.
Thank you for that tangent, Damon. That was
I always.
And we're going to lose Damon a little early today, just because Damon's got some. I don't know, what do you want to say, Damon?
I just had a wisdom tooth pulled. It was an interesting story. I went to the dentist, and I thought I had all my wisdom teeth pulled when I had only 2 of them pulled when I was younger. So they're like, well, you have to have that wisdom tooth pulled. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, my wisdom teeth are out. And they're like, yeah, no, not so much.
Gosh. Yeah.
So they just pulled one, but it was so far back there.
Yikes.
So anyway, it just,
I think I talk when I was like 18.
Yeah. I can talk now, but like, I just can't talk for a long time. It just gets like,
so your jaw gets a little sore, right? Yeah. It's like, I get it. I get that.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So, anything else you want to share before we continue with the episode? Yeah.
Did you do the ambiance thing, Trevor, during Thanksgiving? Yeah.
We or not for Thanksgiving. Actually, we watched it just like over the week, and there's 2 of them, and they're both really good.
Yeah, they're both good. Yeah. Although I preferred the ballroom scene one more than the other one, but the dinner scene, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. There's more that goes on in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. So. All right,
and we'll come around to it later, but I did also watch the movie, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah, I would love to hear what your thoughts on the movie were. We could talk about it later if you want. So, all right, so we got a couple listener questions. Brian on Discord asked, question for you guys for next episode: what does the future of Disney Plus have with dumping content, dramatic cuts to new content? What's going to happen with Disney Plus? I mean, I think the big thing in the near future is that they're going to put all the Hulu stuff on there. So yes, they did cut some of the budget for Disney Plus, but they also are adding all the content from Hulu. I just think there's going to be a massive amount of consolidation at some point within all of the streaming services. I don't think it's sustainable for us to have, 20 different streaming services. Like eventually, and this has already started to happen a little bit, but
why not? Like, I think that was the whole point, right? Is to keep everything separate. I know they're consolidating, but it just seems stupid. Like Paramount Plus now, you can't. Like if you want Showtime, you have to have it through Paramount Plus. Like it's a pain. Like
but before you had to have Showtime separately from Showtime had its own streaming service.
Absolutely, but that was kind of the whole point, is allowing people to pick and choose, right? Otherwise, we're going back to cable.
Yeah.
Well, we're pretty much already going back there.
I mean, it's still cheaper, but you just can't watch everything. I don't know. I liked it when it was easier to pick and choose. I mean, for somebody that kind of what you want to watch, you could flip between 3 or 4 different services in a year and not even have to keep them all the time.
Yeah.
But now it's turning into like some messy consolidation. We're going to be back where we were.
That, I guess it's funny. I know you're talking about all the like Hulu consolidation and everything, but
you already have that.
Yeah, that's already here. So we're just like I'm doing exactly what you're talking about, Damon, is that we have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime with an add-on called Stack TV, which is Canadian specific, but it adds a bunch of extra shows to Prime. And then we have Disney Plus. So we only have 3 services that we're paying for, which, I know, I think the thing is that the monthly cost around those, it's still less than if I was paying for a cable bundle in Canada, because up here our cable bundles are atrocious.
Yeah, ours are up to 300 and something before we consolidate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, ours are about the same, and we also get penalized with sometimes forced Canadian content, which like Corner Gas is good Canadian content. There's a lot of not good Canadian shows out there too.
Well, there's a lot of not good shows here too. So.
Yeah, but we don't get to pick. So like on cable they'll be like, oh, we have like on a Canadian TV channel, they'll be like, we have to have X amount of Canadian content. And a lot of times they'll be like late night. So like if you're like trying to watch TV late at night, it's just like garbage shows that you would never
public
watch.
Access kind of level shows.
Yeah. I don't watch live TV anymore in general. So,
but
outside of sports, though, David, right?
Yeah. So back to the streaming services, it's we're kind of at that point, like even like I've done what you're talking about. It's like for a couple of months I would cancel some of our services because I'm like, there's nothing I'm watching on this, and then I would start it back up again. But I know what you're saying, that it's getting harder because more and more of them are coming together, where it's like kind of forcing you into this. I have to, I'm subscribed for like one or two shows, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what happened with cable TV, I feel. So
yeah.
True. Yeah. So I think that the other part of this question, though, is like, okay, so what future, does Disney Plus have? I think it's interesting the way they went with Star Wars, and I think it was a little silly. They gave us too much Star Wars at once for no real reason, and I think people are just kind of like, whatever now. Like, I don't understand why we had to have all these series right now. Like, why couldn't we have just tabled some of them? Like, there's too much going on now, and it's a problem. And they could have held these out and then not have it to made new content. Like, Ahsoka, why did we need that right now? Why couldn't we have had that a year from now? Like, it didn't need to be now.
Well, but
they did the same thing with Marvel too.
Yeah,
but that's what Brian's kind of saying, though, is like with cutting all the new content, are like people going to start canceling? Like, you're saying the opposite, that they should be delaying content and they shouldn't.
But delaying content and cutting content are two separate things. Like, we should have had Ahsoka, but like, we didn't need it right then and there. We didn't need The Mandalorian and the book Boba Fett like running at the same exact time. Like, I get there is some crossover, like. But dude, people have some patience. Like, are we really in that society now where we don't people even have patience? Gosh, like, I mean, it's television. It's not, super important.
People do have patience if there is actually something to stop them. I think that's the key.
Yeah, I think
it was a pretty long time between Mandalorian season. The past two seasons there was a pretty decent gap in there. It was like 2-3 years.
That's just one show.
But I still don't care at this
shows
point.
In there.
Yeah.
The problem is there's other shows in there. If you gave me just The Mandalorian, I'd be like, oh, snap. Okay, cool. Like, but, and Ahsoka's good. And then, but like, we had that. We had, the Leia crap, the, Obi-Wan. Like, we had just too much Star Wars. And it didn't need to be that way, because if you had spaced them out, I think they would have done better and they would have spent less money. Like, I don't know. It just felt like someone like went all in at a poker table with nothing.
But does it matter though, Damon, if it's on streaming? I mean, you can watch it anytime. Like, you don't have to watch it when it comes out. I didn't watch The Mandalorian.
That's not the point, though. The point is that if you're going to have something set up like that, you want people to keep the service because stuff is coming. If you put 3 things at once, they could just binge and be out. Or not care. I think that's where I'm at. I'm the not care portion because there's too much.
Yeah, I guess the point I'm trying to say is, like, I haven't watched the new Mandalorian season yet, but I will eventually, and it's there. It's just
that hurts the company, though.
Here's the problem with that too: is that your thinking, Tom, is I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah.
If there's just a deluge of like, hey, new show, like. It hits a point where they're like, you either like start making a backlog of shows you're going to watch, but then you never get caught up.
But you do like I did at Marvel. I just went out. Like,
I think they realized a couple movies, though, right? Like, that's why they're cutting content. Much. Like, I think that's why they've realized, though, that that's the problem, right? So like, that's why they're cutting back on this stuff, right?
But again, there's a difference between cutting shows. And then postponing shows. And
dropping the show entirely is not good. That's where the problem comes.
And that makes people mad.
Yeah.
Because now you've invested in a show for the people that have invested, and then you cut it. Yeah, I just think they bought into Star Wars, tried to make their money back too quickly, and just should have relaxed a little bit. I mean, they've so many other IPs. Like, it was too many shows at once.
You know, this is, you actually hit this right on the head, Damon, in my opinion, because I'm thinking about my watching habits right now. And for me, it's like the shows I can think of that I'm like, this was really good and I want more of it is like, you know, Stranger Things. Like I know it's had ups and downs, but it's like, you know, they paced it at a point where it's like, hey, you know, season 5 is out there at some point. I will look forward to checking that out whenever it does come around. My wife and I watched Nancy Drew. That's another one that, you know, it's kind of come at a regular pace.
Yep.
And we've enjoyed watching it. Alice in Borderland, you watched that one as well. Like, like it was, they did the first season. We finished the first season. It was like, oh, wow, that was really good. And then the second season came, but there was a huge gap in between. Like, and you didn't need it.
And you were looking for it, though. I think that's the big thing. You were excited by it. And I think the other problem that Star Wars has a little bit of for me is I'm not a huge fan of filling in the gaps as part of your content strategy, right?
You want new story.
You don't need to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, kind of like Game of Thrones. Like, again, like I read the books when they came out, you know, watched the show, and that was cool. But like House of Dragons, I was kind of like, dude, I know what happens at the end, though. Like, I don't need that. I need new. But I think that's a me personal problem, because a lot of people tell me that's not the case for them. But for me, like, I'm kind of like, all right, well, I know what's going to happen in Star Wars. I mean, I
loved Rogue One, so I thought Rogue One was great. So
yeah, but it does fall into that same.
I know, but I like
highlighting that. You know, it's great. Like,
I didn't even see Rogue One.
Rogue One was good. I mean, I don't know.
But I know what happened.
Could honestly ignore the last 5 minutes of Rogue One, and it would be a good movie. Like, but
I already know what happened.
Yeah, so but that's not like. I feel that's the exception to the rule, especially with the Star Wars stuff, because they are like to your point, Damon. It's like, here's the same point in history from like 6 different angles, right?
But you keep doing that over and over. Eventually, people are going to be like, nah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what's happening, I think, is that people are just, you know, done with it because, you know, you've seen what
cartoons. How many cartoons do we have now? We have the new cartoon. There's just so much Star Wars out there.
Yeah. I was kind of done at Rebels, honestly. Like that far back was like I was good at that point, and then everything past that, I've been like, I don't care. Like it's been way too.
Mandalorian's not bad, but I mean, so
I'm sure it's good. Like I'm not saying these are bad shows. I'm just saying I'm at a point where I don't care.
Yeah, and then the other stuff that Disney Plus has coming is mostly stuff that is on Disney, right? So like Primos is coming. Doom Slayer, is that what it's called? I forget. That's coming. There's some shows that I'm really, really interested in, but I mean, I'll watch them on regular television, and I don't need to, wait for them to come on Disney Plus. I mean, so for me,
do, because we don't get
for you do,
channels,
but for us, I don't really need that. So we have Disney Plus for a few shows, but I'm starting to feel like, dude, what do I need Disney Plus for? I don't.
Yeah. I get that. Let's keep moving on here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
This is a huge rabbit hole. But no, thank you for the question, though, Brian. It's very, kind of interesting how we're all in different phases with our watching habits on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I'm just going to do one more listener question, and I'm going to pick it out because it's a question for Damon, and I'm actually interested in the answer for this. So, question for Damon, this is from Sean. Do you have any thoughts of selling your DVC or downsizing? Seems like you've been more interested in non-Disney vacations lately, and with your kids being a little older, it looks like it's getting harder to use your points. Hope you don't take offense. I don't think there's a lot of conversations out there on deciding when to sell, unless it's a.
I'm never going to sell. I've never thought of selling, and will never sell.
There you go. Yeah,
I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm going to have grandkids at some point. I'm in a lull, and that's fine. But it's still a free vacation. Contracts are paid for. I mean, I'll use them to do stuff. I mean, so I think we've decided, since we're not going on that cruise, we're just going to do the Wilderness Trek, the 3-hour Animal Kingdom jam. Yeah. I think we'll just do that. We'll go down there for a few days. I'll probably do 4 days in a 3-bedroom. I've just started burning my points at higher bedroom places.
Higher bedroom amounts.
Yeah. I mean,
now you can do the baller thing because you don't have to
Exactly. So, I mean, that's what we've been doing, is this burning at like 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms or things like that. But no, there's no point of selling a DVC contract. Like, it does. Why? I mean, unless it's either that or food on the table, you're never going to recoup. You'll never recoup. So it's always going to keep going up. So what's the point? Unless you're totally out altogether of never going ever again. And I mean, I'm going to have grandkids at some point. I mean, my kids still, might use it for when they want to go. So I know I've talked about this before, but I have this project where I'm consolidating all my pictures, and I mean everything. So I've gone through all the hard drives I've ever owned, 170,000 pictures. That was step one. Finally completed that like 2 weeks ago. It took about a year and a half, something I started during COVID. Cool. Now I'm on to photos, actual photos themselves, right? So I started to, pull out photos and scanning them, and realized even though I have a super high-end printer and scanner all in one, it's not what I need to do photographs, right? So, okay. So I did like a box and was like, all right, I need to just go pick up like one of these Epson photo scanners for, like $120 and use that. So anyway, the point is I started going through those and, saw all the stuff that I did at Disney, but then saw the trips, like the first trip that me and my wife took before we even had kids at Disney, right? And if my kids wanted to do the same thing, go to Disney without us, they would just take our points, no problem, right? I'd keep my points for that. And then I started seeing, when we went and my grandparents and my parents came with us with my kids, right? It's the same sort of thing. Like, I'm going to have grandkids. And even, before then, my kids are probably going to want to take them for maybe their first year when they start working, right? And they don't have a ton of money, but they want to go on vacation. Okay, go to Disney, dude. Like, here's our points. I don't think that there's ever going to be a time that I'm not going to want to have them. But, again, it changes. Like, I don't need to go to the parks. We'll go to Animal Kingdom that one day. There's still nothing in the parks that I haven't seen that I need to go see again or see for the first time. I mean, Moana, okay, but I'm not going. A day in the park is $800 for me, right? If I do it one day, Moana's not $800 worth it for me. Now, if I go to Animal Kingdom to do the trek, all right, I got to pay that $800 on top of that. But
and you got a park hopper,
it's still worth that portion of it to do, that. We're always looking for new things to do. Kind of one of the things that I was kind of been chatting with Chris and his family about is they were just in Dollywood again, and like same sort of thing. Want to go back to Dollywood next year because of the new hotel. But like, I want to do different stuff. Like, they have knife making there. They have zorbing. They have a llama hike.
Zorbing? You're going to do zorbing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Right. And then they have a llama hike. Like, that's all stuff I haven't done before. We'll go do that. Like, it's the same sort of thing. There's so much to do at Disney. I don't need to be in the parks. And I think people get caught up like that. And as your kids get older, they're not going to want to do that. So, okay, let's do different stuff. There's a lot to do in Orlando, and you can stay at Disney and still go there. Like, we're talking about, well, maybe we hit SeaWorld for a day, or maybe, we do Volcano Bay because we haven't done that yet either. I mean, if I'm going to do Volcano Bay, I don't need to get into Universal early. If I'm just going to do that, I'm going to stay at Disney.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm never getting rid of mine. There's just no point because you'll never recoup.
I feel a lot of people really do underestimate the power of having, like you said, just, a hotel room that's just always there.
And always nice.
That you're not paying for, right? Like, or not in the typical sense. Like, it's we pay our yearly dues and stuff, but whatever, it's a huge benefit that, like you said, I don't know why, like, even if I wasn't going every year, I don't know why I would ever get rid of my points.
No. I think there's two reasons that you would get rid of your points. Like, you need the money and that's just the only way to survive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you just you're fully 100% done with Florida and Disney. And that just seems weird, because even if I never wanted to go to the parks again, I still wouldn't get rid of it because there's still so much to do in Orlando and only more coming. Like, let's just say I want to do, a mini golf tour of Orlando. Because again, when I retire, I told you that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm touring the country.
You could spend, weeks doing that.
Yeah. With a free hotel in theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Free-ish. let's call it. But I mean, anyone that starts looking at hotel prices realizes that like your dues are irrelevant when it comes to actually booking a hotel. So
the fact that your dues hardly ever change and the hotel prices are just, going crazy. Again, like you said, why would I ever give that up?
No,
like you said, you're right. Unless you need to, like if something happens and you need to, that's fair.
Yep.
But why would I give that up if I, when everyone else is paying, like, I use the Poly as my baseline for this is, if I wanted to stay there, it's $800 a night right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, where am I going that, like, I know you can get stuff as low as like $100 or $200, but like you said, you're not getting that like really good room. Why would I give up the like cheapest room possible I can get that is an $800 room?
Absolutely.
Right. Like it doesn't make sense, but
no. Yeah. All right, let's move on here. We'll save some questions for next week. So we got some other things to talk about. So, we've got a lot of people that have been, wondering about these cabins at Fort Wilderness. We talked, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that they filed a permit. Now they have actually submitted the timeshare, what is it, application, I guess? Yeah, with the state of Florida to sell the contracts at this resort. So, and this is from DVC News. They are saying that it's going to be, they applied for 18,876 timeshare weeks, which suggests the maximum number of cabins is going to be 363. So they currently have 365. So I don't know why. I don't know if they're just going to leave 2 cabins or what. But
well, it's funny because they point out that there's the 2 cabins that are on Loop 100, which is like right by the dock.
Right by the dock, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like maybe those will be. Maybe there's something special, or maybe they're going to be.
Maybe just going to leave them.
Yeah, maybe they're going to be something separate, like. Or I guess maybe like a premium thing. So maybe they'll submit that one separately because those will be like a premium rate where these are like the standard ones.
Yeah, maybe that makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, not a lot to talk about here, but they said recent projects have seen Disney applying for the license 8 to 9 months before sales commence. So, what's it now? So like summer next year, they'll probably start selling these contracts. It seems like.
Kind of makes sense because that'll be when like the hype kind of dies down from the Disneyland Tower
and the Poly Tower.
Yeah. Well, no, because the Poly Tower is not going to be done.
That's true. Then, the Poly Tower, they're going to be selling this the same time as the Poly Tower.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I feel like in some ways they appeal to a different audience, right? Like,
they do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll get different people doing different things here. So, but yeah, so that's an interesting piece of news. And the other piece of DVC news is that randomly DVC decided to add another Moonlight Magic date for December, which they've done this before. This is not a new thing. They've done this a couple times, but this is going to be December 13th at Animal Kingdom. So of course this is a blue card only event. So if you have a blue card, you can do this. And they're going to have registration starting. Where does that say that? Oh, the first registration will start on November 26th. I'm sorry. They have to be on the reservation by November 26th, right? Yeah. And then the general registration will take place on December 5th. So
that's only like a week. Wow. They're not giving that a lot of time. Also,
they're not.
I know you said it's for blue card members only. I feel like we're moving past the point where people know what blue cards are. Like if we have new listeners
digital now.
Yeah. So blue card means direct buy. So if you've bought directly from Disney, you qualify for Moonlight Magic. If you bought it through resale, you don't get access to this.
Exactly. So anybody that's going is going to be in the Animal Kingdom or going to be at the parks on the 13th of December. I know there was a thread going on in the group about who was going to be there in late December. So I don't know if some of those people are going to be able to take advantage of this or not. But I think it's good news for those folks. So
be very curious to see. Because I'm glad that at least the events are coming back, even if they're not like giving a ton of warning. It's nice, like to me that makes me hopeful that in February, maybe the week I'm there, they'll announce a Moonlight Magic event.
That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice. So big news.
Trip will get canceled.
What's that? Yeah, your trip will get canceled. No, it won't get canceled this time. You're going in February. You're good.
I don't know. I mean,
you've had such bad luck the past couple trips.
Moonlight Magic, I've had it twice now, just blow up on me. So
yeah. That hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah. So the other big news of the week, though, is that all-day park hopper access is coming back. So it seems like Disney's decided that everything is happening on January 9th.
Yeah, that's like the flip day for when they're turning off.
Yeah, that's when Christmas is turned off. Yeah, right? So that's when normalness gets back into the parks, right? So, but then they flip the switch over, and then park hopper access, which had been limited to after 2 p.m. each day, will now be back to all day. So you could pop into Epcot, do Moana, and then go over to
huge thing.
Yeah,
totally
huge.
Big. Yeah.
Definitely
a huge thing. So, because it's been a while now. So since they had this, I mean, they changed it for annual pass holders, right? But yeah, this is going to be a big thing. And so on January 9th, all day park hoppers are back. No more theme park reservations as of January 9th, and also dining plans return on January 9th. So January 9th is a big day.
Also,
just call it back to normal day. They should just call it back to the old way. Right? Should
probably mention too that they did kind of slide in a little bit of a dirty with this.
The increase in prices, is that?
Yeah. They raised annual pass prices the same day that they're doing this, or at the same time. Sorry, annual pass prices have already increased, but they did at the same time that they announced this. So it was like, hey, we're upping the cost of annual passes, but you get all this stuff back. Which, I don't really care about the annual passes right now, and it's a normal thing. They raise the prices of them regularly throughout the year, so not too big of a deal. But it's kind of funny that they very strategically slid that under with the park hopper thing is, like Damon said, it's huge. It's a big thing. Like for me, that suddenly makes Hollywood Studios a much more appealing park, because for me, Hollywood Studios is still very much a half day park.
I get it. Yeah.
There's I want to go, I want to ride Rise because I haven't done that yet. I want to get on Mickey, maybe do Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror, and then I'm off to Epcot. Yeah.
That makes sense. No, it definitely is a huge deal that they're bringing that back. I'm glad that they're finally doing it. It's like you said, it's a big deal for sure. And I mean, it's just part of Disney getting back to where they were, right? Getting back to normal, really reversing a lot of the changes that happened over the past 3 years, and getting back to where they were, 2019, if you showed up in the parks.
Yeah, so, and I think the sliding in the annual pass stuff at the same time, I think they're very much being careful about their perception right now.
And they also increased parking prices too, by the way. Sorry.
Oh yeah. You're right. That too. So they're being very careful about not putting too much negative stuff out, or if they can, they hide it behind, more positive announcements like this.
I do think it's funny, though, that people get mad about the parking being increased when basically now they have the same parking costs as Universal and SeaWorld, right? Like they were actually cheaper than Universal and SeaWorld, and now they're just equal with them. Like no one was outraged about Universal and SeaWorld costing $30 or whatever it was. I think it was $30. But
I mean, it's, to me, it's not a big deal as long as the parking lot stays intact, which they do. Like you can see that they maintain the parking lots. So
yeah.
Like that's kind of the thing, is it's like, people use these parking lots every day, and who's paying for
security and for all the people that leave you in and all that.
Security, maintenance, all that kind of stuff. And you can say, well, that, tack it onto the cost of the theme park ticket, but then
not fair for the people that don't use it.
Yeah, and that goes up even more. And that's exactly right too. I don't even go there with a car. So for me, like the parking lots are irrelevant because I don't ever drive a car when I'm down there. Yeah. But if I had to, I would, I'm not going to gripe about having to pay for parking, I guess. But but also I as DVC members, we don't have to pay for parking.
We don't have to worry about that. All right, let's go ahead and do our ad. We're trying to keep this to be a shorter episode today, so let's go ahead and do our ad.
This week we have DVC Resale Market, a World of DVC company that is the leader in the DVC resale industry, with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 90% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2022, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/welcome home or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 382-7767. When you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
All right. Damon, I see you added the last minute topic. You had sent it to me and I forgot to add this. So this is my fault.
It felt like there was some interesting stuff in here at least. Maybe.
So this is the Disney 100 merchandise, right?
Yes. So this was a list of kind of all the things that were coming out from a bunch of different random places. I feel like, I mean, it's a little bit of a mess, but I'll tell you that Citizen Disney Watch is kind of cool.
At that too.
That's nice. Kind of neat. The sculptures are ridiculous, but I mean, they're pretty neat as well. I mean, there's a lot on here. It was on D23's webpage. So you see there's a lot of collector's edition things, but then there's also just a bunch of, regular things. But I think some of these statues are pretty darn cool. The Mickey Sorcerer ones.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Really cool.
How much is that going to cost?
Yeah. I don't know. When they don't list prices, it doesn't seem like that's a good thing. But yeah. I mean, there's the Disney 100 coffee blend, Lego stuff, but I think the Loungefly stuff is a little over the top.
Oh wait, you can click on the link there and you can see. Hold on. So, it's only $40 for that Mickey one? That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
$50 for the Aladdin and Jasmine one, $160 for this Monsters Inc. one. So yeah, I mean, these are actually pretty affordable. I thought these were going to be more expensive.
Yeah, we got the Pandora stuff, which everyone loves. I like the Rock'em socks. I think
I was going to say that those Mr. Toad socks are fantastic. I love those.
And kind of based with this other project that I'm doing. So with all these pictures that I've gotten, what I did is I replaced everything in the house with fire cubes or fire sticks, just so then I could use that as my screensaver. This Disney Samsung, the frame, Samsung, there is a Disney 100 edition, which, I mean, I don't think I need that, but the frame Samsung is kind of cool. Like, I wouldn't mind that as a TV now to kind of do that. But the sand cloud stuff, I kind of like in general. So these are towels. They're made from organic cotton, and they're pretty good. We have one already. There's some Disney 100 year stuff from them as well.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Those look really nice. I like those. Just to go back, Damon, though, like that watch, I'm not a gold watch guy, but that watch is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
And I also like the art below it too. I could see myself hanging up this Mickey one, the silver Mickey one. I'm liking that one.
Not definitely my vibe, but it's neat.
Yeah. No,
I like the other one, the broom one better, but that's just me. I don't know what this
$595. No,
I don't understand what this other one. Who is riding this train? Is that Walt?
It's Walt, yeah, because he was really into the small trains.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. Sorry.
Yeah, I listen. That Mickey one I'm talking about is almost $600. And so is the March of the Brooms. Now the Walt one is only $150. So, it's only $600 because it's signed. The unsigned is $150. Never mind. Okay. So, there's a steampunk Mickey. That's cool. That's not even on here. But anyway, so yeah, no, there's some cool stuff on here, Damon. I'm sorry, I missed this. There's some really neat merch.
I'll say so weirdly, I have ignored Pandora stuff for a long time. But so coincidentally, over Thanksgiving this last weekend, I was talking with my mom, and my mom found she had an old charm bracelet that she found that she'd forgotten about it, and I actually remembered it from when I was a kid, and she was wearing it, and she was showing it off, and now I'm actually like looking at these Pandora things, going, maybe this might be something I could possibly get for my mom for a birthday or something.
Yeah.
Or just weird, random, like I would normally just scroll past this stuff, and now I'm like thinking about it.
I also have to say, Trevor, I was looking at this 100th anniversary phone case, and I was like, I'd buy this for my wife. My wife would love this. And I was like, iPhone only again.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I wish they would expand on the phone cases a little bit more.
Like, listen, I get it. Like, there are people on the Disney board. Like, Apple and Disney have a very close relationship. I get it. It's just annoying. I don't know.
Most of the world is not on Apple, but I get it.
I know. it is what it is, Trevor. You're preaching to the choir on that one.
Yeah.
So no, these are really cool items. I actually too really like this. I was really into trains when I was a kid, and this I don't know if you guys saw this really cool like vintage toy that they're selling too. The of the little
the minecart
hand car
thing.
The hand car,
Yeah.
And if I still had train sets floating around, I would still love to buy that. Although it's $200, but I just love the cool, very old style of this that they're making it look like it was like made through like the manufacturing techniques of the time from the 1930s. You know?
Yeah, but that's not a play with your train set kind of.
Well, no. If it was $200, you're not going to actually attach that to a train and make it go around, right? Like that's a bad idea.
I'm just envisioning you like with like a wooden train set, just like
a little conductor hat on.
Yeah.
No. So funny enough, my dad used to have a gigantic train set in our basement back when we had a basement that was like, multiple tracks with mountains and lakes and all sorts of cool stuff. But he hasn't had a basement in a long time, so all that stuff's kind of just sitting in storage. But I love trains. I'm a big train guy. So anyway, anything else in here we want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we're good. I
we might have lost Damon at this point. I know
we might have. I don't know. He might still be there. Who knows? But I know he said he could probably only last about a half hour. So he gave us longer than he said he could. So
yeah, appreciate it, Damon.
Yeah. So let's go talk about this new mural for Tiana's Bayou. I love when they do these murals, and I think one of the big criticisms of Toy Story Land that was like a lot of this stuff was. Like, they use like, not hand painted stuff. They use like a lot of like the, almost wallpaper kind of stuff. And which is kind of falls apart,
Yeah.
And this is, I love these hand painted murals that they do because it's so much harder, first of all, for people to destroy them. But they just look so much cooler to me.
Well, yeah. And I feel like, kind of like similar, how, Damon had that woodworking done for his family, and the reason, or for anyone who doesn't know, he had this really cool wood carving done, and it was done by a student of a gentleman who does wood carvings for Disney. He's not like he's contracted by Disney, but like if you go to Disneyland and you see like the Winnie the Pooh ride, like the wooden entry sign to that ride was done by him,
hand carved.
Yeah, hand carved. So stuff like this, this sets itself up to become an iconic part of the ride. Which,
absolutely.
like to your point, is this feels a lot more genuine and a lot more important than like, we made, we did like some computer, and not to say computer generated stuff is bad, because there is art to that as well, but when it look like you said, when it looks like a wallpaper, it looks like something that was quickly manufactured, you like that comes out in the feel of the area. When it's hand painted like this, I feel like this mural, I can see this becoming like, you'll see this on T-shirts.
A photo spot too. Yeah. Like
it'll be a photo spot. It'll be like, it'll be on T-shirts. It'll be, and I think it's very awesome that they, they took an artist that is from
New Orleans. Yeah.
New Orleans. Yeah. And so they're, they're showcasing somebody who is, from the area that the ride is based on, which is just fantastic that they're doing that. So
that's, to me, has always been the Disney difference with things, right? Is that kind of detail. Is they didn't just get, Disney's got plenty of painters on staff that could paint a mural, but they went and they got somebody that's from New Orleans that understands the art style, and they did a search for a specific artist to do this. Like that to me is the Disney difference and stuff, right? Like most people will never know that was what it was, but it just brings a level of authenticity to it.
But it's the kind of the same thing as like nobody knew who Mary Blair was when Small World and stuff was being done, but now it's like, who Mary Blair is, like if you walk into the Contemporary, you see Mary Blair's work in there. Like,
and her inability to count how many legs a goat should have. So,
she actually had very poor eyesight.
She had poor eyesight. Yeah,
give her that because and that's why her art style worked, was that she was very focused on, color blocking and stuff like that. So, again, we wouldn't know this stuff about her if she didn't do it in the first place. So, the fact that they've got, an artist doing this over Tiana's, this is, as much as people love to reminisce or get stuck in nostalgia, because this is replacing Splash Mountain, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone has like Splash Mountain ingrained in their head. Even like I do, I hear the music and I'm just like, oh, I'm thinking about the ride. And I realize that like the next time I go, that's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something new. And that new thing has to have the same impact as the thing that was there before, or else they're like, the ride's not going to become endearing the same way that Splash Mountain did.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. And it's things like this that matter. It's very good that they're highlighting it and they're making sure that people see this. And I love that, like the way the mural's done is like, it shows the music and the food and like all that stuff that is very
the landscape and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very much a part of like Tiana and Princess and the Frog and all that, if you've watched it. So
yeah. And also so just for those that don't know, these murals look like they're going to be in the queue leading up to the attraction. So part of this is, and they actually said this is part of how they're introducing guests to the story of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So that's really, the murals are kind of a critical part on setting the stage before you actually get on the ride. So yeah, this is cool. I love stuff like this, and
I love that it's colorful.
Yeah,
I love that they're not afraid to put some color back into things, because I feel like sometimes like modern like design and whatnot, it feels like people hate color some days.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And this is very like New Orleans, which is very colorful. So
yeah, exactly. So next thing here, and neither one of us are real big Nightmare Before Christmas fans, right? But there's some new merch that's coming out. There's some cool things in here. More citizen watches. I like the costume. The Jack Skellington costume is pretty cool for a kid. Yep. So
are these pajamas? Yeah, it looks like a pajama set.
Yeah,
looks like Jack Skellington.
Cool. Yeah. Even though I'm not into it, I don't dislike it. It's just not my thing, really.
I would not wear this around the house for yeah.
I do have to say the vinyl soundtracks though are very cool. The design on the vinyl is
those
awesome.
are cool. Yeah.
Like there's like this really cool. I'll post a picture on it, and of course.
It's what is that called when I'm forgetting, where you put an image on.
Oh, it's going to be like animated when it spins, right?
When it rotates, it'll be animated. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it says zoetrope.
That's it. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, it's some weird word. yeah. It's like So the record looks like a zoetrope. Yeah.
That's cool. That is actually really cool. So if you're into vinyl, that's a good option for you, right? I'm trying to see what else is in here that's catching my eye. Not really much else. I think
lots of toys and what.
I do have to say the 13-foot animated Jack Skellington you can put in your front yard is pretty cool. They're selling that at Home Depot right now.
Are they?
For $399. Woo! 13-foot anime. Well, have you seen the video of it, Trevor? Because it's like mouth moves and everything. It's like it's like legit like. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know. Okay, that doesn't work up here. You're going, what? What do you mean?
What do you mean it doesn't work up there?
So the problem is, people love putting stuff on their lawns up here, but it's hit or miss whether or not it snows before Halloween.
Oh, yeah, that's
and when it gets cold enough, anything that has like movement to it, and I've fallen prey to this myself, where I bought things that I'm like, oh, this is a cool thing I'll put on my lawn, and like Christmas lawn decorations, and they move and they last for like a season, and then the next season they don't work anymore because they got cold and brittle, and I'm not so thrilled by like, oh, it's a big animated 13-foot Jack Skellington. I'm like, yeah, that's.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it's mouth moves. Yeah, it talks. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure it looks great in the store. I would never buy it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to spend $400 on any sort of decoration for anything. I don't even think I spent that much on my Christmas tree. Like, I'm not going to spend that much on that. I don't even have anywhere to put a 13-foot figure. Like, where do you store that? I don't even know.
I guess I don't know how much you have to like Nightmare Before Christmas to do this too. Like it
level, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, since Damon's not here anymore, we can talk about some food, Trevor.
All right, cool.
So we've got some new food over in Animal Kingdom. So when Damon takes his little trip over there, he can have some more. I'm already looking at this stuffed pancake sandwich. I love breakfast. I've talked about this before. Breakfast is my favorite. So if you scroll down here, you can see this stuffed pancake sandwich filled with sausage, guava paste, egg, and cheese. I don't know how I feel about the guava paste, but it sounds good, actually.
Looks like an egg McMuffin kind of thing, but that's made of pancake.
It's made of pancake. Yeah. It almost looks like a mini quiche in a way.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah,
it's like a mini quiche.
Yeah. Guava paste is an interesting choice, but I guess is
sweet
that little bit of
that
sweet and savory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm on board with that.
All right, what else we got here? So there's a couple new things. I just skipped completely over all this stuff at Harambe Market. There's a chicken and shrimp bowl, a chicken rice bowl, and it looks like a beef and lamb pita. So, and also an Impossible version of that beef and lamb pita. So that's good too for those vegetarians out there.
These are all at Harambe. You're looking
at Harambe, which I've gotten food there from before, and it's actually really good. It's a good quick service to grab grab a quick bite. Wait,
you know what's weird? I'm never over in that area when I'm hungry.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah, and I mean there's a lot of good.
Weird, but it's
but there's a lot of good options at Animal Kingdom though too, right? Like that's the problem.
You're right. That is absolutely the problem. Is that we have like we love going to Flame Tree for lunch because it's Flame Tree, but like there's like Yak and Yeti and stuff that it's hard. Honestly, Animal Kingdom kind of has the same problem as Epcot sometimes, where it's like there's too much good food.
No, I agree with you. There's few. I mean, I'll even eat it like Restaurantosaurus over there. Like, I mean, I'll eat anywhere at Animal Kingdom. But I mean, that's probably on the lowest end of the totem pole. I'm going to go to Flame Tree, a lot, and Satuli's too. We forgot about that. Satuli's Canteen too. That place is great food. So, yeah. So some more breakfast stuff. This one over at the Kusafiri Coffee Shop and Bakery. I don't remember ever saying that word before. Bacon, egg, and cheese croissant with tomato pepper relish. Okay, you had me until the relish, but pretty straightforward. We got some breakfast tachos with egg, bacon, and cheese. Although I don't know what this white stuff is floating around on there. I'm confused by that. But
is that the egg? No,
because the eggs are scrambled. Like, is that? What is that?
Bacon and cheese.
Yeah, it just says eggs, bacon, and cheese. What's the other part that's on there?
Potato.
Oh,
potato barrels.
Oh, potato. No, I meant the white things. Oh, those are cheese curds. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's potato barrels, scrambled eggs, nacho cheese sauce, cheese curds, and crumbled bacon. I would eat that.
Okay.
I'd eat that. I like a good tacho.
That's a lot. Dang.
No?
It's a lot of cheese.
What about the harissa chicken wrap? That looks delicious.
Yeah, that's more my speed, I think.
Yeah, except they put avocado in it, so of course they ruined it for me.
I mean, I can get through avocado.
Oh man, this cinnamon roll. Whew. You know what though?
Cinnamon roll?
That's a cinnamon roll. It looks like it's like a cinnamon roll muffin.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that was a muffin. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that's that. It's a cinnamon roll muffin, which is probably easier to eat, right? Like,
and this is at Pandora, which is kind of funny.
I do have to say, every time those little pearls are on something, I like eating them, but I also feel like my teeth are going to crack when I bite down on one of them.
Is it sugar or teeth?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
They're so hard, man. Like, you just bite down and you're like, oh, it's like, my teeth going to crack. I don't know, maybe. We were just talking about Flame Tree.
Yeah.
So they've got some new items. They have Impossible burnt ends. It's funny. I went for barbecue last night at our favorite barbecue place, and my dad got burnt ends, and I don't think he had gotten them before, and he was all about the burnt ends. He was very excited about the burnt ends. And then
do you feel do you feel Impossible burnt ends would live
those
up
don't
to
look
it,
bad though? I mean, they're not gonna stack up though, right? Like it's not the same.
Yeah,
I feel like.
But I know this next one you're looking at that. Like
please.
French fries with pulled pork and cheese. How is this not on the menu before?
I don't know. I want to eat it though. I want to eat it from the screen right now.
Yeah, like I'm just like, yeah, of course. Like, why would you not put like, pulled pork on fries and just put a layer of cheese on top with that barbecue sauce too?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. It's perfect. Yeah,
I appreciate that they're not even attempting to call it poutine.
No, yeah, you would have been outraged if they called that poutine.
I would have rolled my eyes, but I still would have ordered it.
Outraged.
Fine, whatever. It's
more plant-based dishes. So Pizzafari is going to have a plant-based Italian sausage to try. That actually looks really good.
Yeah,
that picture looks delicious. I've heard the plant-based sausages are actually pretty good.
I don't mind plant-based meats like the fake meat.
Yes,
because and it's not that I'm like trying to go vegan or anything. It's honestly that I feel like sometimes they flavor those things better than like the equivalent burger, or I guess they'll do more effort to like add like spices and stuff to it, which I prefer. So
yeah,
it's like, I'll try an Impossible whatever because I just think it tastes good. It's not that I'm like, hunting for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so we only got a couple minutes left here. So let's jump to the World of Frozen food that is coming out. The foodie guide to the World of Frozen. I figured you'd be especially interested in this because the Asian parks always have the coolest food, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, always have the most interesting food, I should say, I guess. But
so far, it's not looking very
promising to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like this chicken roll stuffed with ham and cheese with sauteed vegetables and a mustard cream sauce. That looks pretty tasty.
Yeah. I'm already down at the fondue because they sell fondue. Like
they have a whole fondue set. Look at that. I like fondue.
Oh, and
they're doing like the chocolate thing, the chocolate line from the song. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy.
What about this? What the fondue thing is crazy?
Yeah. The fondue thing is that's throwing me off a little because it just seems a little excessive. But I could also see like you said, Asian parks can do crazy stuff like that.
They do weird stuff. Yeah, they do crazy stuff. I mean, all these Olaf things here are pretty cool. So this Olaf, I don't know if that's the cupcake or I don't know.
Tell, because that doesn't look like a cupcake or a carrot. It's like carrot and dried fruit cake with creamy frosting.
I think that's it. Yeah, they're calling that a cupcake, but it's really just like a mini cake.
Yeah, it's a mini cake.
Yeah. It's not it's different. But then you have how do you even say that word? Olaf Snowflake Smoltringer.
Yeah,
what is that?
It looks like two donuts stacked on top of one
another. It does. Yeah, Smoltringers are Norwegian donuts. Okay. I learned a new word today. Look at that.
Yay. We learned another way to say donuts.
Yeah. Just another way to say it.
That's needed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We got some cake pops going on here. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, kind of standard. Honestly, this is not looking...
Yeah, there's nothing really crazy on this one.
Yeah. Except, what is this hot dog?
That's branded with World of Frozen. Is that what you're looking at? Yeah,
hot dog. Yeah,
the branded hot dog. Like, okay. I mean, I don't really know if I need my hot dog bun branded.
Sausage platter. That's the
Force Fair box, I think. Right? No,
Force Fair gourmet box. Whoa, this okay. Crab stick and corn salad, chicken bun with cheese and tomato sauce, and a crepe with blueberry and coconut.
So it's not even a hot dog; it's a chicken bun.
Yeah. And then okay, all right. So it's a bento box, is what it is.
Yeah,
so
it's a little bento box.
Yeah. But so they got like a crab and corn salad. Yeah. The chicken bun with cheese and tomato sauce. So that's like an Italian.
Yeah, kind of.
Like it's like a hot dog bun that you tried to make into a pizza.
Okay. I mean, it sounds not
and then,
terrible, I guess. I mean,
and then branded with
they just took a brand, World of Frozen brand, and smacked it on the side of it.
Okay, all right, that was worth the price of entry.
There you go. There you go.
All right, I like it. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, there's some interesting looking things up here, but it's not like the normal, really off the wall stuff. But besides that, the branded chicken bun or whatever the heck that is.
You know, that's actually a good way to add that uniqueness to things without costing a ton of money, right? Like, because you know, some of the stuff, it's like, you know, they have to like shape it or like do some like crazy production. That's just a very quick, like, you know, bam, here's the logo on it, and you know, I'm not even mad about that. Like, it's something I feel like, again, you know, they could bring that stuff over to the States, and you know, I wouldn't care that my hot dog has got, you know, like Mickey Mouse branded across the side of it. Like, I feel like if I was, I feel that if I was to buy that here, I would feel a little better about it, because sometimes it feels like, you know, you buy like food in the parks and you're like, wow, I'm paying like a lot of money for something that I could get at the mall.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And again, it's not all
buy
stuff
those
like
kinds of things. Yeah,
true, but I mean, or I guess you're gonna feel it more, or I guess I guess it depends on your daughter, because like when my son was younger, he was like he was pretty good about trying different things, but like when we were traveling, it was like, oh, do they have chicken strips? Like it was like chicken strips all day kind of thing was what he would eat, which, you know, thankfully you can find pretty much everywhere. But after a while, it was like, you know, I'm paying a lot of money for like chicken strips I could make at home. Kind of thing, right? Like,
yeah, you're paying for convenience though, right? Because you're there and, you know, it's easy.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It is the convenience, but it's, I feel like, you know, if they could put that little extra like flair on it, that, you know, that Disney thing, and I'm not saying that, like, you know, that just like makes me go like, oh, you know, it's worth the price of admission, but you know, that little bit of extra effort does make a difference, in my opinion.
I agree. Well, and I know really quickly here, Trevor, we are at an hour, and I promised my wife I would stick to an hour today, and she didn't believe me, and she's still right, because we're going over an hour.
Hey, I tried to stop there, but you continued.
You know what? You're right. It's my fault. I know we wanted to talk about one more thing, and that was the droid testing that they were doing over at Disneyland. In Galaxy's Edge. And I did watch the video, Trevor. So first of all, I want to say I'm reading this article on Deadline, and the headline is Disneyland unveils test droids roaming the theme park. Will this end well? And I think that's a good headline for this.
It is. Yeah.
Because part of this, I'm looking at it, and you know, they're talking about this too, right? So they're saying they're droids in training to interact with guests. They're saying that they can learn, they can emote, they can learn how to dance, they can get angry and their eyes turn red, they can walk on terrain, they can balance. Like, and if you see the video, these guys are like you probably wouldn't call them bipedal robots, but they're
chicken droids is what I called them, because they walk like little chickens. But
they kind of do.
And then my wife said like their heads reminded her of Johnny Five. If you ever saw that, they
do have a Johnny Five vibe to them.
Yeah,
they do. They're cute and they're cool.
Yeah,
but I don't want to get excited about this, because they've gotten us excited about this kind of stuff before, and then it just doesn't pan out. Like, they just don't do it.
But this is, I guess, the first time that we've seen it actually. Like, they had cast members like testing them in the park, which again doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but I feel that's pretty far down the line of exploration, that it does give me hope that, you know, maybe this version won't pan out. You're right. Like, you know, I feel like those guys are they're a little small. Like, you know, they draw enough attention that people will stop and, you know, not walk into them and stuff like that. But, you know, we've talked about this before, is, you know, what happens the first time a kid tries to ride one of these things,
or tries to pick it up, or
kick it, or right. Like, I guess that's part of the testing, is, you know, they have to see how these things will shape up in a real
and they have costume cast members walking around with them, right? So like, you know,
they're not unsupervised.
And I mean, they could do it theoretically where they, you know, it's like the costume cast members walking around as a character in Galaxy's Edge, as a resident of Galaxy's Edge, and this is their droid that's coming with them, right? Like, they can
get mad.
Story. Yeah.
And then you kick their droid and they get mad and they want you to send them credits, and then you're in Disney jail, and it's a whole thing, right?
Yeah, you just don't kick the droids. No, listen, I really would love for them to finally do this thing that they've said they're going to do for a while, where they're going to have free roaming droids like this. Like, do it, make it happen. I want to see it. Like, I would love to.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like I'm not going to get excited about something until like I actually see them doing it they're doing it right here, but it's still just a test. But these things are pretty cool though. I mean, they're walking on two legs. I mean, they're not on wheels. They are literally walking on two legs, and they move pretty well. They, like they said, they're balanced, and they're doing like a little march in the video that I'm looking at. So
it was kind of cool that they would all like follow one another, but then they also would like after they did their little bit together, they would all kind of like stop and look around and do different, like you could see that they weren't tied to one another. Like I know they want to say like they're free roaming and they're learning and all that kind of stuff. Like you can see that they still kind of follow predefined patterns, but there is also some room for spontaneity with them, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
The best way I can put it. And the thing about this is that maybe like, we've talked about in the past about innovation, and, if this turns out well, and I really genuinely hope that it does have enough positive for them to continue exploring it, is that this could be that place of innovation that we've been talking about that, is kind of missing a little bit, that, it opens it up to, there is a whole bunch of people doing research in advanced robotics out there. Like,
including Disney. This is their testing, right? Yeah. So,
but this could become like a showcase for, new robotics and these droids, droids in the sense of Star Wars could be demos of droids that, you start seeing in real life, outside of the park, right? Like it's a very interesting thing. I think that Disney is, I'm glad that they're pursuing it, and I'm glad that they didn't, because like we talked about it years ago, and it seemed like everything around Galaxy's Edge got shut down, right?
Yeah, all the extra stuff. Yeah,
and so it feels like maybe there's a glimmer of hope that this is actually going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
let's wrap it up. Unless there's something else you want to talk about.
Yeah, one last thing. I said this at the beginning of the episode, and I want to just highlight it really quick. I watched Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So the one thing I'll say, Haunted Mansion, the new one is a good movie. I feel it's definitely better than the Eddie Murphy one that was done years ago. I feel as though it would actually stand alone as a good scary movie, or like a family scary movie. Like it's not over the top scary. It's kind of like other Disney movies. Like it has a few little bit of scary parts, but not like crazy. And I think the thing that might have actually hurt it is that because I am such a big fan of Haunted Mansion, I was more enamored with like some of the beats they took, where it's like, oh yeah, that's the stretching room, or that like parts. Some
of the references, like the Easter eggs and the references.
Yeah, I was more focused on that, and I wasn't missing the story, but it felt like the story was, it was, I don't know how to say it. It could have been a little more intense, but it felt like they were kind of doing more fan service, right? Yeah. And because of that, the story didn't hit necessarily as hard as it could have. It wasn't bad. The one thing I do feel though that they did was they were really trying to hit you over the head with the idea of the Hatbox Ghost.
Well, yeah. So I heard somebody say like they ruined the Hatbox Ghost for me.
That's one thing that I didn't like about it, was that they kind of teased it, and in the movie it's like, oh, okay, I get it, yeah, he's the Hatbox Ghost, yeah, okay, like, but then I see now where like they're teeing that up for the integration into the ride, right?
Yeah.
And again, not a bad thing, and I'm sure I would go back and watch it again, but I feel like they didn't need to like I feel like somebody got wind of the Hatbox Ghost that didn't that was more focused around the hype of it and didn't actually like think about how it actually folded into the story necessarily. And they were just like writing the character from the place of like the hype that it had for so long. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's finish this up. And yeah. Sorry to your wife. I know we went.
I'm going to blame you. It's fine.
It's
yeah, cool.
Yeah. I mean, you started it, but I finished it. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, as usual, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love getting your questions and hearing your trip reports and just talking to you guys. So, you can always find us there. If you want to find us on social media, you can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. You can find us on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast. You can find us on Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. So, if you're on any of those platforms, you can check us out there. On YouTube, we actually do post these episodes now on YouTube, so you can listen to us now on YouTube if that's your preferred platform of choice. So make sure you check that out. And on Facebook, if you want to join our group, it's called Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. It's a great place where we have our listeners come and talk about the show. We get a lot of our questions from there. We get great memes and people sharing their own experiences and asking questions and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in talking about Disney stuff, come hang out with us because it's one of the best Disney groups for that. And if you want to support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out our new logo with, we got all kinds of shirts and fanny packs and great stuff in there. We also have a limited edition shirt going right now, the Golden Birthday Button. If you don't know the history of the Golden Birthday Button, you might want to go back and I wish we had a way to search or a way to identify which episode it started on, because I really don't know.
I don't remember either.
It was a long time ago, but it's one of our jokes on the show. But you can wear this shirt because the golden button is celebrating listening to Welcome Home Podcast, which, as I've said previously, if you're listening to the show, then you can wear the button. It's not, or the whole thing around the Golden Birthday Button is that you could only wear it on your birthday, but this is for listening to the show, which you should be listening to us every day. So
exactly, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so, if you want that shirt, please go check that out. It's only in there until December, so it won't be there forever. And, also another way you can support the show is you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod. You can check out our different levels of Patreon support, which have an exclusive logo that you can only get through Patreon. And you can also get a discount in the store. So, going back to talking about the Golden Birthday Button and all that, is if you want a bit of a discount, you can actually support us through Patreon, and then that will help you with buying merchandise for the show. And our Patreon listeners also get access to our Discord, which is yet another place that we love talking with our listeners. It's a little more intimate. We have a lot of great conversations in there. Some of our questions come from there too, but it's just another way that we love talking with our listeners. So check that out if that's interesting to you. Last but not least, if you are listening on iTunes or Spotify, leave us a 5-star review because that helps more people find the show. More reviews means we show up higher in the algorithm and all that. So please leave us a review. iTunes, you can actually write us a review if you feel, if you feel you want to write something about the show, please share it on there. We do like to read those out when, people leave us reviews. I don't know if we've had any new ones.
We don't have any new ones this week. So, but good.
Yeah. So please leave us a review because, we love hearing the good and the bad from you guys. It's, it's not all, we don't cherry pick our reviews. We actually do, we try to keep ourselves honest because we know not everybody likes everything we do, and that's okay. So, leave us a review.
Yeah. And also don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app out there. You can find us. Just search for Welcome Home. Look for the Disney one. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult your DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you to the sponsor of this episode, DVC Resale Market and World of DVC, for continuing to be amazing supporters of this show. Please check them out. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion, of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.